I am Ariffin. I'm 17 years old this year, and I am honored to be part of this revolutionary event. What we have been dreaming about is finally becoming a reality. Over the past few weeks, we are seeing glimpses of the power of the people. You see, defamation suits are not new, but what is new is people from all walks of life coming together to support Roy. When I first created the page Wake Up Singapore and started blogging, many told me this: when you are young, you are idealistic; when you're old, you're realistic. This is the kind of rubbish said by people who have lost their ideals or sold their ideals for self-interest. Fellow Singaporeans, for far too long, we have been fed this lie. We have been fed this lie that we are too small to make a difference. Let me ask you, if you ever think you are too small to make a difference, try spending one night with a mosquito. We all have been witnesses to the consequences of elitism and oppression. I feel sorry for Roy. Roy is not a politician. He is one of us. Roy apologized for alleged defamations and even offered $5,000. Firstly, you said his apology was not sincere. Let me ask you, how sincere were you when you apologized before GE 2011? You say that Roy's offer was derisory. Most of us Singaporeans earn $5,000 in 2 to 3 months. Of course it will be derisory to you. You earn more than $5,000 in one day. You see, this is not about PME against Roy anymore. It is about the people in power against the power of the people. We may not agree with Roy, but we definitely are against oppression and bullying. You can bring down Roy, but 1,000 more Roys will rise up to seek transparency from the government and fight for our rights. This was the same idea that JBJ fought till his last breath for. This was the same idea that Sha Tepo spent 32 years detained for. This idea is bulletproof. Not long ago, our Prime Minister said that the ministers are the servants, and we the people are their masters. Remember who their masters are? Do you think they deserve their $1 million salaries? Why do we pay our servants millions of dollars to turn around and sue us? The people in power have forgotten the power of the people. You see, Singaporeans, more than growth, we need happiness. More than elitism, we need oneness. More than cleverness, we need kindness. You know, for the past few protests here, we have been chanting the words, "We want change." I disagree. You know why? Because when you say "we want change," it means that the people up there have the power to give us the change. No one has ever reformed their government by asking their permission. So instead of saying "we want change," we should shout, "Be the change!" And never forget this: when the time comes, we will also vote for change. We need to return the power to the hands of the people. Let me ask you, when was the last time we had a national referendum? 1963. Isn't that embarrassing? We should have national referendums on white paper policies. We need to let the people voices be heard. All dictators eventually die. All empires eventually fall. But this is a new beginning. If we hold on to our unity, there is no force in the world that can take it away from us. The struggle against oppression has for the first time evolved into a united struggle. Okay? Fellow Singaporeans, let me just ask you some questions. How many of us here remember Chia Tepo? Alright? How many of us here remember Operation Cold Store and Operation Spectrum? How many of us here remember what happened in Chengshan GRC in 1997? This is a very promising sign of our political awakening. J.B. Jeyaretnam once said that if the government is not prepared to listen to our peaceful protests, there must come a time where we have to resort to civil disobedience. But the time has not come for that. Before you can effectively launch a civil disobedience campaign, you have got to educate the people. You have got to get them ready to participate in it. We have got to educate the Singaporeans of what they are able to do. And that is exactly what we should do. Nelson Mandela once said that education is the biggest tool in the world. I agree. Education can be used to eradicate fear. Let me ask you something. Most of us here know about Cold Store, Chia Tepo and Chengshan GRC. But don't you think there's a reason that many of us, our friends and family back home, don't know about it? Don't you think there's a reason? The reason is very simple. Knowledge comes with responsibility. It is this same responsibility that lead people to me, like me, Roy, Hui Hui, Leong, Kenneth, to share their knowledge with the masses. And this is not something that only politicians, activists, bloggers can do. This is something that each and every one of us has the power to do. All of us have a role to play in Singapore's political awakening. All of us can do our part in any way we can. We all have got to do this. Between now and 2016, we have less than 2 years. But this is a long time for us to educate the rest of Singapore. We must educate one another, question the status quo, and start thinking for ourselves to ignite a massive political awakening and, more importantly, eradicate fear. Spread this knowledge in whatever ways you can. You see, this protest must not be a one-off event. Okay? This protest must not be a one-off event. It is something that we must continue from. And this should not be about getting angry, as anger only blinds. What we should do is educate and empower. In the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us do away with barriers, greed and oppression. The secret to change is not fighting the old, but building the new. So let us build a new and free Singapore, where progress leads to happiness. In the name of democracy, let us all unite. Brothers and sisters, the fight ahead may be long, may be hard, but let us never forget what Gandhi said. First, they laugh at you. Then, they fight you. Then, you win. This fight won't be over until we win. It's time to wake up, Singapore! Before I end, let us shout the 4 words on my shirt together. Let us shout power to the people with your clenched fists. Come on guys, let's do it. Together. 1, 2, 3. Power!